Hi, Lori.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moms Finding More Peace, Patience, and Positive Energy as you parent. I'm JoLyn Holladay of Above and Beyond Mentoring, and today coming to you from my new division, Moms Finding More. So when I present, whether it is in a mentoring session or I'm speaking to a group, I always start in gratitude and positive energy. So I want to start by thanking my higher power, which for me is God, my Heavenly Father. And I want to thank him for giving us our gifts that we can develop and share and him helping us to do that. And I am thankful, especially for his help through all this stuff, preparing and sharing. He has really, really helped me. We've had a lot of technical issues, and I'm just really, really thankful for him, for his help. I'm thankful for the technology, which allows us to share today in many ways and all joined together like this. And hi, we have some new people joining us. Hi, Mary. And I'm also thankful for my techno assistant here. I have Markham that is helping me at my side, and I'm really thankful for that. Most of all, I am thankful for all of you mothers. You inspire me. I admire you so much. You do so much good in the world. You are nurturers. You love children. You care for children. You're amazing. So please, I want all of you to give yourself a big pat on the back right now. I want to see it. Great big pat on the back, moms, for everything that you do and nurturing the children of others too. That's wonderful. Now, I always have 3 rules when I present, and I ask my audience if they're willing to abide by those rules. So rule number 1 is that we have respect all around to everyone. Rule number 2, that you be as present as possible. And usually I say 100% present. That is not always possible for mothers. So as present as possible. And number 3, that you manage your communication device. So get out of Facebook. If you're not on your phone, turn your phone off, move it away so you're not tempted to look at it. Close all the extra programs on the computer and the phone and manage that communication device so that it won't disturb you and it won't disturb us on the call. So let's get started. I'm so excited to share with you today. I am going to switch to some slides and put on my headphones. So give me just a second. So everyone, welcome to How Moms Find More Peace, Patience, and Positive Energy. And I am JoLyn Holladay. Right here? No. Okay, had a slide issue there for a second. We're coming up. Somebody's not there again. Okay, welcome to Moms Finding More Peace, Patience, and Positive Energy without hiring a nanny, losing hope because of past mistakes, feeling guilt or pressure to be perfect, without sending the kids away, without feeling unsupported, without running away. No running away, moms. We've all had days where we feel like we want to do that, right? So my goal of this call is to help you feel that with support, you can start finding more as a mother right now. That's important. So will you join me on this commitment to find more as a mother right now? Yes. So why should you stay to the end of this webinar, which is now a Zoom call? Why should you stay? Because every mom wants more peace, patience, and positive energy. I don't think there's a mom on the face of the earth that doesn't want more of that. You don't want to miss that, not any of that. To learn how to create places of peace. That's a picture there on the slide of a beach where our family went, and we did a house swap in Hawaii there. And that's a place where I go in my head. Now, it was a real place I had gone physically, a place I go in my head. We want to learn to go from losing it to loving it and recognize negative and make a switch. You want to find support as you make positive changes. And I'm going to be telling you about some of the support that you can find. So you also want to stay to the end because there is a chance to enter a drawing where the winner gets a 1-hour strategy call. So you can use that for whatever you want, and a 30-minute follow-up a couple weeks after. So if you want to enter that, this is how you watch the webinar, and then you'd send a short feedback message. You can send that to me via Facebook or email, and then I will choose from those people that do that. Now, a lot of the people, we actually have, as of last night, there might be more, 24 women registered for the call, which shows you that moms think this is important, empowering ourselves. And half of those, at least, are joining us via playback. So they can watch that playback also, and then they can comment too. So stay to the end because you want to find out how you can get a free problem solve it session. Like, we all have issues with our kids or different things in our lives, and it's really helpful to talk that out with someone. So you're going to find out at the end how you could get a free problem solve it session. You can strategize and work on something for you. So moms finding more peace, patience, and positive energy. Now, the reason I chose these 3 things is because they're so interrelated. Peace is part of patience. Patience is part of positive energy. They are all working together, and they're all connected. Now, as I did some free calls with moms, I have found that 80% wanted more patience. So on this call today, having some interference from somebody. So on this call today, we are doing 80% of our time on patience because that's what 80% of the moms wanted. So know that most of it will be on that and that it's all related. And now I went past that slide, but it showed pencils. It showed pencils and a pencil tip. So we are only going to be able, Larianne, you need to mute Larianne. So we are only going to be able to touch on the tip of this, just the tip of this today. So know that I will provide opportunities for you to learn more in these subjects and for you to learn more in other subjects as a mother. So I will be telling you at the end about a mom's mastermind program. It's a women's support program, mentoring program that I'm going to be doing. It is so exciting for me. I've just been dreaming about this for several months. It will have like-minded mothers. That's the most important thing. Group of like-minded mothers. Encouragement, accountability, learning, sharing, positive change. Wow, that's important. That's what we're going to be seeing in this program. And mentoring, support, and focus. So I, as a mother, have been focusing on one area at a time lately and finding more in this one area. And wow, doing that focus, especially I've been focusing on patience the last few months, and wow, that helped, just having that focus. So I will tell you at the end about this opportunity where you can learn more about this group and making these positive changes. So here's the truth. Most mothers struggle with patience, right? How about all of you? You can type into the chat. Do you ever struggle with your patience? Let me know. Like for me, daily. Okay, so I don't want anyone on this call to think, oh, she's so patient. Sorry about that. We'll try to mute that out. But I struggle with my patience every single day. I have always struggled with my patience. In fact, it's one of the things that I've struggled with the very most as a mother. So that might make you think, whoa, well, how could she teach us? Maybe we should just jump off of this call. But you might also think that if she has struggled with patience and she's working so hard, she can help us because maybe you struggle too with your patience. So answer.
In the chat agree.
Yay, and lots of agree that you struggle with patience because we all do. So answer these 3 questions in the chat. And you can choose one of those or answer all 3. Have you ever taken a parenting class before? Just answer that one first. Have you ever taken a parenting class or seminar or some kind of yes, training?
Says no.
So Kathy's saying yes. Larianne,
Love and Logic.
Yes. Love and Logic. Somebody's done Love and Logic. So most of you, it looks like everyone, but one person has done that. So if so, were you able to make all the positive changes you desired? Because when you go to a class, you find all these things you want to do. You're so excited about it, right? And you want to do them. Were you able to make all the changes that you wanted?
Not all.
not all. Shell says, I took a webinar parenting class, Positive Parenting Solutions, but could not afford the actual class. And so no, she wasn't able to do all the changes that she wanted. Emily, we tried to register, her separately, and it didn't work. So a lot of people, and somebody said, I forgot a lot of the information. That's what happens, isn't it?
One person said no.
Okay, so, and then someone else said, no, I wasn't able to. So would it have helped you to have accountability and support group? As you left that class or that seminar or that training, would it have helped you if there was someone to be accountable to for the changes that you wanted to make? Would that have helped you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and absolutely. That's what we're getting in our chat.
Accountability always helps.
Yeah, accountability helps. That's what I find, because I have gone to so many different seminars and trainings. I get so excited. I take a million notes, and I have all these changes I want to make. And we have from Mary, she said, I'm sure I tried to make a lot of changes, but recognize that most were going to take a long time. That's so true, Mary. They take a long time. They take some accountability, and they take work, right? It takes work and faith-based action. Let's see, accountable to someone else, it does help. It does. There's a statistic, and I can't remember the exact one, but if you set a goal and you write that down, you are way more likely to succeed with that goal. You are, I believe it's 80%, something like that. Markham knows, I'm asking him.
37% write it down, and between 70 and 80%.
Yeah, so approximately 80% more likely to fulfill your goals if you report them to someone else. So that's important, to have that accountability. And as I said, I get really excited, then I get home, I put that notebook right where I can review it, because I'm going to review it and do it, and then pretty soon it gets covered up and gets put in a pile. Kathy's smiling because she knows about this. Gets put in a pile, something gets put on top of it, and pretty soon maybe you remember one or two things. So we have another guest that's typed, I have taken more parenting classes than I can count. What I've found is that I remember 1 to 2 key things from my favorite classes. When I go straight home and share them with my spouse and apply them immediately and consistently, they become a habit. Perfect, because she's sharing them, right? She's reteaching, and she's getting accountability from her husband. So Mary types, funny though, I realize that I try to get my children to use the accountability model more than I use it myself. Totally true, Mary. We understand this. Moms need some accountability too. We do. So that's one reason that when I speak, and I consider myself a motivational speaker, but I also consider myself an activational speaker. I don't want to just motivate you. I want to powerfully activate you. So that's why I will provide some opportunities at the end where you can have that accountability and you can further what you want to do. You can further your desire and go on. So let's talk about some of the pains and problems of motherhood. I want you to go ahead and type in the chat, what are some of the pains and problems of motherhood? And while you're typing, I'm going to put some up here that I have. And limiting beliefs. So I should say pains, problems, and limiting beliefs of motherhood. I make the same mistakes over and over. Wow, do I feel that? And sometimes I get discouraged. So here's some of the things that we have in the chat. Let's see, let me get to the beginning one here.
Yeah, everyone's responding so quick.
Yeah, everyone's typing so fast. So type, my 1-year-old trying to steal my laptop right now. That's what one mom says. I have forgotten who I am other than just living as a mom. I understand that. Tantrums, lying, managing housework, just being a mom, it's hard. Children not being considerate of each other. In other words, little personal time even when much needed. Whoa, that's a pain and problem. Feeling like a manager instead of a mother. Whoa, that was Shell. Shell, wow, you hit the nail on the head. Staying in a good mood when the kids are choosing not to listen, especially when I feel like I need to follow a schedule. I thought that was going to say, especially when you feel like murdering them. You have to stay in a good mood. Agree with forgetting. Yeah, Megan, look at your message, Megan, and fix that. But staying in a mood, all those, they're hard. So here's some more of mine too. You can keep typing those. I've tried to change, but I always go back to my old habits. Yeah. Oh, who am I? We forget who we are. We sometimes lose ourselves in the care of our children. So my kids make me lose it. And they don't really, right? We choose to lose it, but we say that. You make me lose it. I'm always tired and overwhelmed. I'm not a good mother. Those are some of the limiting beliefs. If I don't multitask, I often feel like I can't keep up. When I take a break, I often feel guilty. Mary says, not enough time, not enough sleep to stay healthy. Oh my goodness, yes. My goodness, yes. And you know what? I feel like when I do go to bed really late, I somehow get this punishment because my little children wake up in the middle of the night. It's like when I go to bed late. So not enough sleep. How can I find peace when everything is a mess? That's what I feel like. I don't like messes. I can't have peace until the kids are out of the house. Anyone ever felt that way? And yet we love them, right? More pains and problems and limiting beliefs. Here's a few more. Someone else could do a better job at mothering my kids than I do. I think that, especially as teenagers, when they're 13 to 18, I feel like I should give them away to a good home and have someone else like raise them and then give them back to me after because I have such a hard time with teenagers. My family doesn't appreciate me or my efforts. So Jeanette writes, how does the house stay clean? Question mark, 3 question marks. I work hard with teaching kids to help too, and she does, I know her. But within minutes of cleaning, it looks like we did nothing, right? We know that. We know that. I'm doing all the work, we feel like. Sometimes motherhood is not fun. Okay, there's fun parts. We know parts we love, but sometimes it's not fun. I remember having 2 children really close together, and by 9:30 in the morning, I changed 6 diapers and I was still in my pajamas. I didn't think that was fun, right? It can be really hard. Sometimes the endless duties of home and family are depressing. Sometimes it can be kind of depressing because you maybe don't have enough communication with other women, and you're just taking care of children all day long, and sometimes we don't get fed ourselves. So the kids won't leave me alone even when I'm in the bathroom. Does anybody understand that one? Oh yeah, they do. And if they would just do blank, then I wouldn't lose my temper so much. So those are some of the things. Now, we've talked about pains and problems. So I want to know, what are the mom moments you love? What are some mom moments that you love? Type them in there because there are some. I'm going to put mine. That's why I put that picture up there. I love rocking babies. How I love rocking babies. And now my youngest ones are getting past that age that I can't rock my babies, so I have to rock my grandbabies, but I love to rock babies. So type that in there. I'm going to speak it. What do you love? Mom, what do you love? A little hand in mine. Wow, I love that. Holding the little hand. Once when I reached for my little daughter's hand, she said to me, Mom, 2 hands are better than 1. So we have holding a sleeping baby. Oh, and I love to hold sleeping babies. Butterfly kisses. When my teenagers and young adults want to sit and snuggle with me. Whoa, yeah. I actually sneak into my teenage son's room. He's 15, and I sneak in and give him a little hug and tell him I love him and kiss his cheek because he won't let me do it when he's awake. But I know sometimes he's really awake and he pretends he doesn't know. I love watching the kids do gymnastics. This is what Lori typed. I love teaching the kids or watching the kids do gymnastics or playing games with them. A hug, little notes. Shell says she loves reading either by herself or to her kids, and random hugs and hearing the kids love each other and play nice with each other. So reading with them. Someone else says, Lorianne says to watch my 5-year-old have pride as she learns to read. Oh, I love watching their accomplishments. Seeing the joy in their whole face when we do something fun. From Jeanette, from Mary, inside jokes and recounting family favorite stories. And we have going fun places from someone. And when my 3-year-old comes to me and says, I love you, Mama. And vacations, Kathy says, there's so many great things. Here's a few more of mine. Christmas morning. Oh, I love Christmas morning. Oh, and how my father loved Christmas morning. He was grouchy a lot, but Christmas morning, he loved it. He loved to see our joy. The funny things that they say, how forgiving they are, going on adventures where everyone finds something they love. That's from Shell. Celebrating milestones and achievements, especially as they get older. Don't you just love going to their graduations, their performances, and their sports games, and just cheering them on? You're so happy when they do these things. And Mary says, when I see my children mentally and spiritually connect the dots on things we've been trying to teach them for years, wow, that is beautiful. And Megan, my daughter, leaves me notes to encourage me on hard days. Beautiful. Just there's so many beautiful things. Thank you for sharing. So this is my family here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my family and how I came to have all these children and everything. I have 7 children, and although I am a messenger and a mentor, my most important job is a mother of these 7 children. And now I have several grandchildren as well. So my oldest child is 30 years old, and my youngest child is 5. So I don't know that anyone on the call has a spread like that, but that does not mean, so I've been parenting for 30 years. That does not mean that I am an expert. It means I have more experience in making mom mistakes, probably than any of you, right? Because I've been doing it a long time. So this is a picture of I with my late husband and our children. This was about 18 months or so before he passed away. He passed away of cancer, and we had a long, hard, difficult battle. And we call this picture Encircled. And you can see in that picture, he's very affected by his tumor and his surgery. You can see that where he had to be shaved and everything. In that surgery, he came out actually like a stroke victim. So very, very affected there. And we had some difficult times, and those were our 5 children. And he passed away after 6 years of this difficult battle with handicaps and stuff. And then I was a single mother with these 5 children. And then eventually I remarried, and my second husband had never had any children. And we were married even 5 years or so before we had children together even. And so in my 40s and his 50s, we have these 2 babies. And I know you're thinking, yeah, you're nuts. We are. But we had these 2 babies together. They are now 5 and 7. And they keep me young. I also have 3 grandchildren now. So since this picture was taken, I have these 2 more grandchildren. So I've stuck their cute little pictures up there on the side. So my 7 children and my son-in-law, obviously my son-in-law, you can tell he's so much taller than us, right? But I have this amazing, beautiful family. I love them very much. So I have, as I said, made a lot of mistakes. Oh my goodness, I have struggled as a mother. I see women who are natural mothers. I am not a natural mother. It's hard work for me. I've had a hard time. I made a lot of mistakes. But despite those past mistakes, I am determined to make positive changes. And I told you that I am concentrating on one area at a time. I know this program that I'm doing now in my business is Moms Finding More was an inspired program, and mostly inspired because the teacher learns most. So I am learning more than anyone as I concentrate on these things. So that's a little bit about my family. Now I tell mothers, reach up to God, or whoever your higher power is. So reach up to your higher power, reach out to resources and others, and reach your arms around your children. I love that picture. It makes me think of the support that comes from heaven and just being so grounded from heaven and earth. I actually love to do a grounding exercise that I developed where I name all the resources the Heavenly Father has given to me from heaven and earth. Now we have a chat in here. Lauren says, interesting, a very different feeling between the joys and pains of motherhood. The greater the pains, the greater the joys. Okay, and on the reach up phrase, and we have Shell. Yay, someone else who uses that phrase. I'm always filled with so much guilt for not feeling like a natural mother because it's hard work for me. So you're right, Shell. I know natural mothers. I'm not one of them. So it's work for me, but it's important. So I believe that motherhood is a sacred calling from God. And that is a picture of my friend Megan, who with her baby, her miracle baby, and she's on the call today. I asked her permission if I could use that picture because it's so precious. It's going to make me cry. I believe motherhood is a sacred calling from God. I truly do. And because of that, He will help us, right? These are His children too. So no matter what they do, no matter what we do, He is going to love us unconditionally, and He is never going to stop believing in us, and He is never going to stop helping us with this sacred calling that He has given to us. So Speaking of, I am a faith-based mentor. So I never want to mentor, nor can I even mentor in any way or teach in any way without trying to connect people with the power of their higher power. Whatever that is, or whoever that is for you, I totally respect that. But if I know that if you add the power of your higher power, you will add power to every single thing that you do. My higher power helps me. He helps me develop my gifts. He helps me see my weaknesses, and he's helping me turn weaknesses into strength. He softens me. He softens me. I can be rough around the edges. I can be, critical and too busy and things like. He helps to soften me and help me and guide me in every way. I do not want to parent without the power of my higher power. So why I'm sharing today, and I am not going to go into too much detail because I want to get to our lecture, but I am sharing today because I have in me a gift and a passion to share. And as I have invested time and money into learning tools of empowerment, they have blessed me so much. And more than that, they have blessed my children as I have shared with them what I'm learning. And I know that if these tools of empowerment help me, they'll help others. And I have a passion, a great desire to share them with others. So here we go. How moms find more peace, patience, and positive energy. Let's talk about peace for just a minute. Now, we are today peace, patience, and positive energy, 80% on patience, okay? So, as I said, we'll just touch the tip of what we want to talk about. So really, we need to have separate, longer lectures on these things. So just quickly, places and spaces of peace. Now, I actually took that picture out the window of a moving car in Hawaii. It still is a place of peace. So we want to create places of peace in your head. I have a couple different places I can go in my head. Some are like the beaches that I've shown you, which are real places in nature that I can go in my head when I need to relax. And I also have a place of peace I have created in my head where I can go when I need some peace. I mean, I can describe it, this beautiful place in nature where I can go, what I can hear, what I can see there in nature. So create for yourself a place of peace in your head that you can go to. Very important. I teach that to children too. I do mentor children as well, and I have taught them to create a place of peace when they're getting upset where they can go to in their head if they can't go away to their room. A place of peace in their head. So in your heart, a place of peace in your heart, to me, this is totally hooked to my higher power, to my Savior, Jesus Christ, having that place in your heart of peace where He resides, where His love resides, and therefore helps to feed, just like your heart does, the whole rest of your body, mind, spirit. Have that place in your heart. Sometimes I actually envision a glowing heart of my Savior's love that I can have there that can help me feel His love and help me share His love, right? So create that. And then in your home, have places and spaces of peace in your home. I have one room in my home, the front living room, where we call that our clean, quiet room. That's our place of peace. So I'll admit I'm not the greatest housekeeper. I'm kind of cluttery. I try hard to keep things cleaned up, but I'm not a spotless housekeeper, and I'm kind of cluttery too. And in our family, we have a big family. It's kind of cluttery, but we have this one place of peace, that front living room. There's no TVs. There are no TVs in that room. And that is the place. It's a small room, that front living room. It's where we can read, where we can study, where we visit with other people that come, or where as a family we can pray or read scriptures or have family night, or just sometimes I just sit in there for a minute. I just sit down there for a minute and meditate. It's our place of peace. So that means it has to be a place of order too, because it's pretty hard to find peace without order. So even though the rest of our house can be complete chaos, that place in our home, we keep that place clean. And the kids know, like, it's a place where we have books. We have a lot of books there, but they can't bring toys in there. And we have a higher standard for that place of peace in our home. So now I want to get to patience because, of course, there's so much more about peace, but that needs to be a whole separate lecture. So 3 secrets to patience. Now, there are tons of ideas for patience. So I just do 3. When I teach, when I mentor, I always choose 3 things. Just I break things in three so I'm not overwhelmed. And so 3 secrets. Add the power of your higher power. And we'll talk about these separate too. But add the power of your higher power. Set up for success. Recognize and make a switch. So let's talk about each separately. First of all, add the power of your higher power. So I find that it is best for me if I'm getting upset to go and kneel down and pray for a minute, if I can get away for a minute. Now, obviously, you need to engage the power of your higher power in the morning, first thing, but also when you're having a hard time. So you all know the little safety slogan, stop, drop, and roll, right? So I say, stop, drop, and pray, and do it right away. Stop, drop, and pray. When you feel that negative and difficulty coming on, if you can, please go in the other room, kneel down and pray. And you don't feel like praying then, right? Who feels like praying when you're mad? Like, not really, but you need to do it. And the very act of kneeling down to your higher power, and we'll talk about if you can't kneel down too, but the very act of praying causes you to humble yourself. And when you humble yourself, you go outside of yourself. So instead of your place of anger and frustration and irritation where this is what they're doing to me, they are bothering me, this is what's happening to me, then when you pray, you have to humble yourself in order to talk to higher power. So then it goes out of you, right? That one step helps you right there. Now, what if you can't kneel down and pray? Maybe you're in the grocery checkout line, you're in the middle of a church meeting, you're putting your kids in the car, you can't stop, drop, and pray, right? You can't say to the checker, please excuse me for a second, and drop to the ground, and Lord, help me not lose my temper before I leave this grocery store. You can't do that. So then I say, think, blink, and pray. Think, blink, and pray. Do it right away. Quick little silent prayer in your heart. But add the power of your higher power. There's nothing that helps me more than this. As I said, he softens me. Heavenly Father helps me concentrate on the most important people and purposes. Very important. The second one is to set yourself up for success. So an example of this is that I was a reading tutor in a Title I school. I helped children who struggled with reading. We were taught to set them up for success ahead of time. So instead of just having them come in and sit down and read a book, that they've never seen before and struggle through it and feel like they're not smart enough, instead we set them up for success. We were taught to show them the book, tell them the title of the book. Today we're going to read this book, and do a picture walk through them. We'd go all the way through the book, a picture walk through them, and talk about the things that we were seeing. I would say a lot of the words that were going to be on the page as I walked through the book. We totally set them up for success. So then we hand them the book to read it. They feel great. They already know a lot of the words and things. So set yourself up for success as a mother. There are times that are chronically hard, okay, where you may chronically have a hard time being patient, or where things are chronically super stressful, like getting people to school or to church, or the bedtime routine, things like that. We have a chronically hard time when we decide to have a family night or scriptures. So think about, do a little pondering on your own later. Sometimes that are chronically hard, then set yourself up for success ahead. So quick example, a few years ago, I took my children to the Weber State Children's School, and they would go there for their little school and some daycare. But we had to go there pretty early in the morning, and it was hard. I had the hardest time. I just lost my patience all the time, and it just seemed like I couldn't get them out the door, and everybody's mad, and I didn't send them off well. So I thought about this, and I remembered that hearing that a politician's wife, Ann Romney, that she, when her husband was very busy with church callings and couldn't help her on a Sunday morning, and she had these 4 little boys, I think it was, she would bath them and dress them the night before, put them in their church clothes, and they actually slept in their church clothes. She took them to church that way the next day. So I thought, why can't I do that? So I just bought some clothes that were comfy. We just bagged pajamas except for fun. They each have a pair of pajamas for fun, or that one day a year that they wear them to school. And I got knit leggings for my daughter, sweats for my son, things that are comfy. I started bathing them at night, putting them in their clean, comfy clothes so I didn't have to dress them in the morning. I set out their cereal bowls. I filled their zippers and put them in the fridge. I put all of their things on the landing, their socks, their shoes, their coats, their backpacks, all of that the night before. Now I set up my Emily's homework stuff on the table the night before, so that in the morning,
right after she has breakfast, she can read and do some homework pages. So I actually set all that out the night before. So those things will help you. If you think of those critically hard times, think it out, then set yourself up for success. The other way that you set yourself up for success is by taking care of yourself. Like Mary said, it's hard to get enough sleep, right? Sometimes we don't take care of ourselves. Sometimes you'll realize it's 9 o'clock and you, the mother, haven't even eaten, right? So take care of yourself, power up body, mind, and spirit in the morning. And moms are busy, so even if it's as simple and as quick as doing some stretches and dancing through a song in your bathroom while the bathwater runs, saying your declarations while you're in there getting ready, taking a few minutes to pray and read the scriptures, having that sacred time. Power up that body, mind, and spirit. Take care of yourself. We all lose our temper more if we are tired, if we haven't eaten well, and if we haven't taken care of ourselves. So ask yourself, if you're losing your temper a lot, if I've been taking care of myself, what do I need? What is the one thing that I need right now? So that's our second thing. Set yourself up for success. Then the third is recognize and make a switch. So that means that we're going to recognize negative energy when we first feel it, and we're going to make a switch. So I'm going to give you a couple examples, one from a long time ago, one from a few months ago, and then I'm going to tell you how to do this. So years ago, one time we were getting ready for supper, and I was mad. I don't even remember why I was mad. I don't even remember what happened. Now, type in the chat if any of you ever gotten really mad, like you're kind of mad and stomping around, let me know. And I was mad and I was upset. I was tired. I was irritated. So I called everyone to supper, and then I'm still putting stuff on. And some people are commenting in the chat too often, says Shell, and Mary, oh yeah. And Lauren says multiple times a day. Lauren, multiple times a day. Me too. Like it's hard. I don't think that I have any day that I don't struggle with my patients in some way. So this night I was mad, and the family sits down to eat, and I was bringing more things to the table. I started actually slamming things down on the table. The milk, like plunk, the salt, plunk. And my family, because I'm kind of slamming things down on the table, my family is silent. My kids, my husband are looking at me like with fear. And I'm plunking these things down like mad. And my little boy was about 6 years old. He said, I think she's going to blow. And that actually made me laugh and kind of dispel the situation. But what he said was true, right? If you build all that stuff in there, you can feel it, right? You can fit right down in the chat. You can feel it when you've got that negative energy. Can you feel it? And if you let it build up and build up, you're going to blow, just like a pressure cooker, right? And my grandmother actually had a pressure cooker blow with meat in it and blew a hole in their ceiling. So we mothers do not want to blow a hole in our house, right? In our home with our temper. So I'm seeing things here like, yeah, multiple times a day, sadly, yes. And in our kids, or our kids' hearts, like Kathy said, yeah, because we can break our children's hearts, right? We can. That's not good. So fast forward a few months ago, after I really started working on patients, I took the teenager somewhere. You're always taking the teenagers everywhere as a chauffeur. I had the little ones in tow. So while we're waiting for him in his lesson, I took him to a restaurant. And we hardly ever go to a restaurant, so it was special and fun, and I was having a great time with them. But then my little guy, who was just before he turned 5, so he was starting to get overstimulated, which happens a lot. A lot of you on this call, you know my little boy, so you know about this. He started getting overstimulated, and I started getting stressed out, worried, because there are people around us in the restaurant, and he's going to disturb him. Type in the chat, has this happened to you? Have you been in a public place when your children start to embarrass you? So I'm starting to get embarrassed. I'm quickly trying to get the check and everything. I'm like, we are out of here. So we had our great time, but we have to leave. So we have from some moms about the negative energy. Sadly, I'll have negative energy and yet expect my kids to be in a great mood. And she laughs about that. That's true. That's true. And have we ever been embarrassed in public? Oh yeah, I can tell you some stories of that. And Mary, to everyone, the most recent experience I had right in the middle of of it, my higher power pointed out to me that my anger wasn't based around what my son was doing, but rather was based in a pity party I was having for myself and didn't realize it. Wow. That understanding helped me diffuse my anger quickly as I began to analyze why I was engaging in that pity party. Wow, Mary, thank you. That is really beautiful. That does happen. So I'm there with my little kids in the restaurant. We're trying to get out of there fast. By the time we're going out the door, my little guy is wound up. We get to the parking lot and we've got to be safe. And the parking lot always stresses me out because I'm worried that somebody will back into them or they'll run in the street or something. So I'm trying to keep him by me. Of course, he gets away from me. He runs off. He goes around the front of the car and I'm getting really stressed about it. I call him over with, get over here right now. 1, 2, 3. And he does comply on number 3 because he knows the consequence if he doesn't. But I'm recognizing something. So I have a question. How do we keep positive energy when trying to punish? Ooh, we're going to have to we'll talk about that one in a minute, okay? We'll do that because that is hard. So my little guy's running around and I get him over to me and I start to put him in the car and I am feeling this energy, right? I feel like strangling him. And I quickly ask for prayer. I recognize this. I say prayer, oh, Heavenly Father, help me. We just had a beautiful time in the restaurant. I don't want to ruin it with my temper. And I have before. I've ruined great family moments with my temper. So I ask him for help, oh, please. And then I say, I choose to switch. I choose to switch to embrace and enjoy. And those are usually the emotions that I choose. Embrace and enjoy, especially with little kids. And you can choose whatever emotion that you want, but you recognize the negative energy, say a quick prayer, choose to switch it to understanding or trust or peace or like me in that moment, embrace and enjoy. So then I'm able to strap him in his seat. I bend down and I hug him for a minute. I hug him. I look in his cute little eyes and I'm saying, I choose to embrace and enjoy. I choose to embrace and enjoy. And I go around and climb into the car and I'm switching that energy and it's feeling great because I'm going from all this negative energy to positive. And anytime that I choose to switch to embrace and enjoy, gratitude follows. This amazing gratitude follows, and I'm saying, oh, Heavenly Father, I'm the luckiest mom in the whole world because I have these amazing, beautiful little second chance children that I can learn with and do things with. Thank you. I'm so lucky. So that's how to recognize and make a switch. So we talked about our 3 particular things today. We are recognizing negative. This is a detail on that last one. Recognize the negative, say a little prayer for help, choose to switch to a positive. So 3 secrets we talked about today, especially for patience, add the power of your higher power, set up for success, and number 3, recognize and make a switch. So I can't even read my own writing because it's covered with my thing here. What helps you have more patience? What helps you, moms? That's my little guy there. What helps you have more patience? Type that in the chat. Let's hear from you. And while you're doing that, it takes a minute to get a chat going in there. So, and I had a few comments here too. Some thank yous up there, and that thanks. Megan says, thanks. That's beautiful, JoLyn. He felt out of control and you hugged him out of love. I want to do that. What was that song again? I choose that switch. Look at your note, Megan. And we have to answer that question above too. Taking care of, Kathy says, taking care of herself helps her be more patient. If her cup is full, she has more power to manage. Oh, so.
What was that saying again? I choose.
Oh, I choose to switch to embrace and enjoy. I think that's the one that you wanted. So earlier we had a question, how do we have positive energy when trying to punish? You may all comment on that one if you want. I have to be really careful because if I am in a bad negative energy and then I am doing a punishment, then I could be too rough, right? You can lose it. You can be too rough. So I think the biggest thing is instead of thinking of punishment, think of a consequence, right? A discipline, a consequence, because discipline, comes from disciple, right? And our Savior is part of that. So discipline is a consequence that helps them learn. So instead of a punishment, think of discipline that helps them learn a lesson. So I have some comments here. Kathy says, I have to get my emotions managed before I can punish or discipline, right? I've tried to switch to a teaching point of view, not discipline. So that's true. I know all of us have regrettable moments, right? All of us, from reaching for a child and then, maybe spanking or doing something too hard because we're in this negative energy. So that's so important. We need to back up and walk away. Sometimes moms need time out. Jeanette says, when I have had me time, I do better. If I haven't had me time, I get frustrated more easily to get done with my mom duties, which never end, of course, so that I can do something for myself. So me time in the morning or whenever I can, then go back to serving everyone else. So from Mary to everyone, she says that recent experience that she shared with us when her higher power helped us and she was having that pity party, that experience she shared was only possible because of a personal understanding she was finally given some years ago after struggling for years and years with her temper. So she says losing it too frequently is what she used to do. I was given to understand that most of the time when I lost my temper, it really was all about me and not anyone else or the circumstances around me, even if it really looked like it wasn't about me. So since that day, many years ago, I've slowly been able to get myself out of myself and deal honestly with what is really going on. Then I deal with my own issues separately. This applies to disciplining my children too. I love that, Mary. I know Mary. She is so wise. And in fact, Mary is the president of our primary children's organization. Has to deal with my little guy. So thank you for sharing that, moms. What works for you? I just appreciate that so much. So today, we only scratched the surface, right, of what we want to find more of. We did a layer. You see that cake? Doesn't that make you hungry? It's beautiful. We only did a layer. So know that I want you to be able to find more in all different areas, more in these areas, because we haven't had much time to talk about it, more in other areas. Areas like patience and peace and balance and support, inspiration, joy, order. Moms, type in there. What do you want more of? What do you want more of? Now, obviously not more things to do, right? What do you want more of in your life? Let me know in the chat. More joy, more fulfillment, more patience, more order. I want more consistency in my parenting. What are some of those things? Do we have a chat there? So connection.
Fun times.
More fun times, more connection. These are things being typed in. All of it.
Joy.
So joy.
Me time. More me time.
More me time. Yes. One of the moms on my calls chose to have more time to exercise, and we masterminded that. More fun times, more joy, more balance. And somebody saying, "Ooh, I like that consistency and connection. I want more consistency in my personal habits so I don't feel guilty when I relax." Oh, yeah. I want a true bond before my kids become teenagers. I want more. And you know what? I do have some amazing tips that have been helping me with connection. So that's good for another time. About having me time, I've been trying to do that in the middle of the day around lunch. That comes from Mary. So I can be re-energized before my teenagers get home from school. That is really important. Once in a while, you'll find this time where everyone is kind of quiet, doing their thing. And I will love those times to run in and sit down and close my eyes and put my feet flat on the floor and get myself grounded and do a little prayer. So many things as moms that we want to find more of: consistency, family, relationships, fulfillment, creativity, developing our talents. Those are some of the things. So these are my children here. Can you tell those kids are not easy? We just did that. Type in the chat. Those are my little children. So a survey. Did you learn helpful tips today? Let me know if you learned any helpful tips today. In the chat, I'm looking here. My assistant has the chat on his side, so that's why I have to turn there and look. Have you learned any tips today that will help you in parenting? I sure hope so. Okay, what have you learned, or have you learned good tips today? We talked about a lot of things, but we talked about finding more. We talked about patience. So someone says yes, all three. She learned tips. She feels that she can start having more peace, patience, and positive energy right now. Someone else says, I really like the idea to create a peaceful place in my mind that I can go to at the drop of the hat. Oh, you bet. Mary, I will tell you, sometime I'll tell you about my place. I'll describe it to you. Turn to your higher power first. Wow, yes, nothing adds more than that. To remind yourself, Megan says, yes, remind yourself you have a choice. You do. You know what? It's been so surprising to me as I've worked on my patients. I always felt like I couldn't control it, and I found I can. So what were all the excuses for years? Yes to all three. Thank you. And stop, drop, and pray was helpful to someone. Think, link, and pray and do it often was helpful to someone else. So yay, hooray. Kathy says, yes, I pray in my head a lot, but I'm going to do more of going to a place to stop, drop, and pray. There is definitely something about getting down on your knees. It's humbling. It gets you out of yourself, like Mary talked about. So that's very important. So would it be easier to make these changes that you want to make if you have the help of a mentor and a mother support group? So accountability in some way, would that be easier for you? So sorry, sometimes our internet goes down a little bit in our chat, so sometimes I can't see that for a second. So we're fixing a few things here. So we have secret 2 is one, let's see, that I feel I need to start with first. I'm often so negative in my thinking, but I need to set myself up for success and take care of myself. Yes, and that reminds me, moms, that negative, just like in math, negative takes away. It takes away from your energy and your effectiveness in everything that you do. Just like in math, positive adds to you. So Lori says power up time and also focusing if my anger is from what is going on around me or just in me. So Mary gave us a lot of perspective with that. I appreciate that. So I am flipping here. I have, and now you can see my beautiful friend Jeanette, who's on the call, is in that picture with her baby. And then my daughter with her baby and Jeanette's picture there with her baby. So okay, and we are now at 11:30, so I'm going to quickly go into this program for you. Would it be okay if I tell you about this Mom's Mastermind program that could empower you? I always like to ask permission. Would that be okay if I tell you about a program that can add?
Yes,
yes, and please do. We have going on in the chat. So I am starting a Mom's Mastermind group. It is a group mentoring program for mothers who want more. It is 8 weeks. 8 lessons on Moms Finding More. This is done via Zoom call, just like this today. We have 1 hour a week, and it's recorded in case you can't get on then. You can get on later. Each time we focus on one area that moms want to find more of. And I actually want to determine those areas by the moms in the group. And then we will teach on those. So I'm so excited about that, having those like-minded mothers. They will have a private Facebook group just for mothers in that program. So when I teach, I always think of extras later, things I forgot or new insights. That's a place for me to share. After we've had our lesson, I can share that. You can share what you're trying to do, maybe times that were difficult or things that worked. So that is a really good. One of the moms I talked to said that for her would be the greatest asset, that private Facebook group of other mothers working on finding more. And then also 2 private mentoring sessions. For every woman in this group gets 2 private mentoring sessions. Number 1, more about you, because at the beginning, I want to know that mother individually, what does she want more of? What does she need more of? And then at the end of that 8 weeks, I will be talking to each mother for 1 hour, finding out and helping them incorporate all the stuff we've talked about. I want to make sure that they're activated individually, that they have support. So I am doing that beautiful program and an empowerment audio download from my website. The moms will receive that as well in the group, and a little pampering and spoiling. Are you okay with pampering and spoiling? Because moms need pampering and spoiling. So I'm not going to tell you what all that is, but the moms in that group, I'm going to do a bit of pampering and spoiling for those moms. I'm looking at Jeanette smiling right on the slide because she likes pampering and spoiling. So in this group, the benefits, this is what I think some of the benefits are. And you may be thinking, so you can type in the chat what you think benefits would be for you as well. Let me know, what would benefits of that group be?
We've already had some. If you had coaching, it's a simple thing, and you can give yourself a kudos.
Okay.
Coaching.
So, in case you didn't hear that, Mark was reading some of these chats. So, Shell says, I'm with you, Mary.
Mary said she had some resistance.
Okay, let me go up here. Mary says it would probably help me to have someone else to account to. I have to get over my resistance to get online on the phone to report to someone else, feeling like it's just one more thing to do. Okay, so Shell says, I'm with you, Mary, but it's something simple to do, and you can give yourself a kudos for checking off things off the list. So I am a mentor. I have a mentor. The reason I always have a mentor, even though I am a mentor, is because of the accountability. I do so much better in every area of my life when I have a mentor, someone to account to. So if someone says Layton area, so it'll actually be done by Zoom. And so it can be done clear across the country, literally, because it's going to be done via Zoom, the internet.
No one else has answered that.
Okay, so benefits, we're on benefits. So learning and sharing of the private Facebook group, like-minded mothers, simple, powerful tools. And I'm all for simple, powerful. You know that from today. Simple, but powerful. You'll have a teacher and mentor. You have encouragement, support. So from me as the teacher mentor and from the others in group, you have support from me and the others in group. You have accountability for the changes that you want to make. That's the most crucial of all. And positive change as a mother. I mean, I'm having so much fun and so much, the feeling, I should say, the feeling that I have as I'm changing things as a mother and positive are just, there's no price on that. They're just, it just feels great. So do you think this program would be empowering to mothers? You can say, what parts of this program do you think would benefit you the most? And if you find more as a mother, think about this. Will that assist your children? As you're typing things in the chat, I'm going to talk about that one. If you find more as a mother, will that assist your children in finding more too? So a few years ago, I invested a lot in doing these self-development programs and self-empowerment programs. And there was a time where I had to make a big expenditure with that to do a higher level program. And I did that. And then I felt guilty, like, oh, I shouldn't spend all that money on myself as a mom. That should be for the kids. And I almost backed out of it. And then through the intervention of my higher power and heaven, I was told that if I empowered and educated myself more as a mother, that it would empower my children. And I can tell you for sure that is story after story. Even last night, my 7-year-old came to me and asked to get a picture off the internet for a vision board. Okay, there are many examples. It has empowered my children. So Kathy says accountability is the most powerful for me. Jeanette says I have a gratitude book on my bedside table. I try to write 5 things each night. I think I may do that at least 5 to-dos as well. How fun. I love that. That's true. And we have finding more as a mother will most definitely help your children find more. That's from Mary. Everything we do as a mother, positive and negative, leaves ripples of influence on our children. Oh yeah, I just can't imagine. So much that I have learned and invested. I invested some time and money, but I learned it. Now my children have it. Jeanette says ideas from several like-minded moms is always helpful. So true, Mary. That's true. So I'm going to go on. This is showing you a package value. If you have these type of classes in the mentoring world, this is the mentoring world for me, and 8 classes by, let's say, 25. Normally they're more than that. My friend charges, that's a mentor, is $50 actually per class. But if I did 8 classes times 25 would be 200. The private mentoring session, 50. The 60-minute private mentoring session, 100 in the mentoring world. The group support, priceless. So the total value in the mentoring world, $350 to $500. Now I choose not to charge that much. I want every mom to have this opportunity. I choose not to charge that. I am only going to charge $247. This program will take us 10 weeks because the first week I will be doing the private calls. Then we do 8 weeks of 1-hour lessons, and then the 1-hour lessons at the end. So about 10 weeks you would be in the program. I am. You can do $247 or even 3 easy payments of $97. So Markham's typing there in the chat if you are interested in looking at joining that program and taking advantage of that program. So let's talk a little bit more here. So bonus, I told you if you stay to the end, I would tell you about a bonus. And you could take, if you take advantage of this offer, this Mom's Mastermind program, if you take advantage of this offer and invest in this program by this Saturday, so 2 days, you will get a free 30-minute problem solve it session. I love problem solve it sessions. We talk about a problem and we work on a solution. So some of you have done some problem solving with me on the call. So you're welcome to comment on that. And so you can do that. And you may have possible objections, right? Reasons why no, because for different reasons. So you might not be interested. You don't want to add one more thing. So we're going to talk about these. Not enough money. Maybe you think your husband won't approve of the expenditure, or spouse, I should say. Not interested in group learning. Okay, maybe you prefer single. Maybe not enough time, or it's a not now. Like, oh, later, not now. So let's look at these. So I have the screen on top of my thing. So we find the money for what we really value, don't we? We find the money, whatever it is. So it depends on if you value. Some of you won't be interested in it. That's totally okay. It's not for everyone. But we do find the money for what we want to value. And I'll tell you some ideas for that in a minute. But what if that one thing, so you know that objection, I don't want to do one more thing. What if that one thing helped you simplify many? Many. So for example, my meeting with a mentor once a week and doing a lot of this self-development training has helped me become way more efficient and effective in what I do. So sometimes that one thing can help with many. So, and what if JoLyn, could assist you in manifesting money for the program? So I'm pretty good at that. I've helped women manifest money for things that they really want. And so if that is an issue for you, if you want this program, it means a lot to you, talk with me, and I can help you with some ideas for this. So I mentored a single mother who had a goal of raising $1,200 in a few months, and she's single, and she went past that. So I can help you with ideas of how to save or manifest money for the program. And what if private mentoring is an option? It is. It is. Some people don't like a group program. I do private mentoring. So you can start finding more as a mother right now. Not sure what's happening with my crazy slide here. Oh, it's coming. So can you move that off? So what if you talked with your husband and you told him why? I have done that before. So not just doing something, but going to say, this is why, sweetheart, that I think that I should do this program, because I know, like when I did all that self-development stuff, I know that if I empower myself, it will empower the children. What if you point out that he invests in his education or his career, right? Those in a career, whether it's your husband or you or whoever is the provider, we invest in education for our career all the time. Isn't mothering a career, right? It's the most important one that we do. Very most important. So that's a powerful, powerful message. So can you put that in the chat for them too? I want to, okay. All right. And I have a question from Mary. Can I join? Oh, okay. Okay. So we'll get back to her on that one. So if not now, because sometimes you say not now, like if not now, then when? The children grow up quickly. We want the most out of it. And what I've had to do, I've been in a program for 3 months now, a webinar boot camp, learning to share and present via webinar. And I have had to say no to some things so that I could say yes to this particular thing. So for the last few months, I haven't been doing my essential oils classes or some of the other things I do at night because I've been doing this educational program. So sometimes you have to say no to some things and yes to others. So the most important thing I want you to get out of this today, whether you choose to take advantage of that program or not, is that you can start finding more as a mother right now. And I'm going to list some resources for you. Take a picture with your phones. If you want, like you can take your phone out and take a picture of this if you want. Here's some resources, how you can find more. I have a Moms Finding More Facebook page where I do blogs and tips all the time. I have Essential Answers Facebook page, which is empowerment for the body, mind, and spirit overall. I have essentialanswers.me, which is my website. And I have many things. There are many things that you can take advantage of in investment, and there are many things that are free on there. And this is how you can contact me, JoLyn Holladay, Essential Answers for You, and my phone number. And then my helper today is Marka McReynolds. He is with Life Changing Services. That is Pornography Addiction Treatment and Prevention Program. My son was in their prevention program, their Eternal Warriors program, and I wanted to make sure I listed that resource for you. Every family is affected by this. I want you to know about it. So you're welcome to take a picture of that page. you will receive, actually you will receive this in playback as well. So let me know if if I can go on now. Kathy says she took the Eternal Warriors program and her son went through Sons of Helaman too. It's top notch, she said. So Kathy says we definitely don't get enough training for this mothering career. Any training that can help us do better at all in this important career is so valuable. And I have from another person on the call, the most important work we do is within the walls of our home. And she's quoting a prophet, president. So wonderful stuff. So I'm going to go on and just have this. I just want you to feel that you can start finding more as a mother right now. I want to thank you for being on this webinar today. I truly hope that you feel that you can find more as a mother, that you can feel support, and that you can use some of these ideas to specifically find more in the areas of peace, patience, and positive energy. So you're welcome to end your call. If you are finished now, I hope that many of you will take advantage of this program. We have half of our people that registered that are going to be watching this in playback. So I am hoping for 10 moms to start this program. Next week, I would start the individual calls, and then the first week in March, I will start the classes. 1 hour a week via webinar, and I'm planning on Tuesdays at 10:30, but we may base that on the moms in the group too. That's a time that works good for me, Tuesdays at 10:30. So I hope that you would join me. So I'm just going to answer any questions that you have right now. Get comments, questions, any questions that are comments that you have. I am just waiting here. Yes, and if you need to go, because we've gone over our hour, so if you need to go, I totally understand that. And you can go ahead and go. Feel free to do that. And we have some sweet thank yous in our chat. So thanks, JoLyn. Hour well spent. I had a chance to do individual mentoring with JoLyn. She's a great mentor, someone wrote. And goodbye to everyone. So there are some of the women on this call that have done private mentoring with me as well as groups. So you're welcome to comment on that. If you need to go, you can go. And I don't know, when someone types in the chat, can you guys see it too?
This is everyone.
Oh, okay. So if it's everyone, so.
And also private message the host.
Okay, and you can private message me. So Mary gave me a question earlier that I will respond to her privately on. And Jeanette Allen, to everyone, says, thank you, JoLyn. I will be talking with my husband. Gotta run, son's in school. And quick plug for JoLyn, individual mentoring and children's mentoring with JoLyn literally changes lives. So as I said, I mentor children too. I mentor right now an amazing 10-year-old boy who teaches me a lot too, as I teach him. He teaches me, and I am able to do that with him via, he doesn't live close to me, so I'm able to do that via Zoom call, and we talk about all kinds of things that can empower him. I sure wish I had known these things when I was growing up. I truly do. So now I love to teach children things like when they have negative coming at them, what to do with it. When they're at school in different places, they have these things happen. I wish I had known what to do with that. So, pardon?
No one's typed any questions.
Okay, so anyway, just love you all. And Lori says, thanks, JoLyn, I needed this today. Just love you all, and you'll get this in the chat. I'm so proud of you. If there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and go out for now, and would love to have you in our Moms Finding More group.
There's one person who had a question.
Okay, one person has a question. Let's see here. It said something about sending feedback. Oh, yes. So remember that you can be in the contest. Everyone who is on this call live or in playback, if you watch it, if you registered, which you did because you're on it, registered, you watch it, and then you send me a quick feedback message. It can be via email. You have the email that sent you all the invites and confirmations for this call. You can do it via email or Facebook Messenger. If you give a short feedback message, it can even be a paragraph, but a short feedback message, you will be entered in the drawing. The person that wins the drawing will win a 1-hour private mentoring session and a 30-minute follow-up. So thank you for reminding me about that, Mary.
One person that would like to talk longer, but I can just have everyone else leave.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the call except for Mary, who wants to speak. speak with me, and I'll see you later, Mom. Okay, okay. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, Shell. So Mary, just hang tight right there. We're going to take the others out of the call. Okay. All right, Mary, it's you and I actually do have my assistant sitting here. That's from the Life Changing Services. What can I do for you, Mary? Unmute yourself, or maybe he can unmute you.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
There you are.
Woo, okay. Hi.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. So I do, for stuff like this, I usually, I earn my own money. I have got a few music students. But right now, the money that I'm earning from my music students is committed to another project.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a personal empowering thing right now.
Yeah, good.
So it sounds like I like the group idea.
Uh-huh.
That I get energy from that.
Uh-huh.
But it sounds like it would need to be joined in by a certain time to be effective. So talk to me about timetable.
Okay, so this program, I am actually going to have it so that people can join in at any time. It's going to be an ongoing program for a few months. So
okay.
I will literally be holding these calls every couple weeks. And so since on the calls, we are talking about moms finding more in one area, no matter when they join in, they'll join in the call and we'll be talking about one area, but the others will be pre-recorded and it will keep circling, if that makes sense. And then we will have my techno, I have a webmaster who's going to help me set up a membership for it so that you can go back and access the other calls. Now, I truly believe that live is the best. You're going to feel the most support. You're going to learn the most from live. But so you can join in later. And if you want, so Mary, would you be okay if I sent you a link to my Calendly scheduler and then we scheduled a free 30-minute call? And on that call, we can mastermind together some ideas because honestly, I think together we could have some ideas where you may be able to start it now.
Okay, that'd be great.
So we could work. So I'll send you a link later today to the scheduler, and it's just a free 30-minute call. It will say Moms Finding More on it, but we'll talk about how, if you want to be in this program, how you can do that, and if it's possible, how you can start it now. Because usually if you have that feeling that you want to do it, it's usually best to start it now if you can find a way, because you feel that inside, like me with some of those mentoring programs. And so sometimes when you wait, you kind of lose that. So I would rather find a way together that you could start doing that now. So, I respect whatever you do. So, and I understand as a mom, like pretty much usually everything that we have pre-decided on our special thing, So I totally get that. So I'll send you a link. Thank you for being on the call. I hope, was your daughter able to be on?
For just a little bit, and then of course she had to go be mom. Her cute little guy woke up with night terrors about 2 o'clock or something in the morning, and she was up with him for quite a while, and then so he's having a rough day.